Hi again everyone, I'm Heather Donaldson, holistic health educator and creator of RootsEFT, your accessible way to clear what disturbs you most from the roots. And today I'm very excited that I will be sharing with you some RootsEFT to do with me and that you can do on your own to help you, and if you've just had it with your relationship patterns, so that you can have those fulfilling relationships that you've always wanted. And we all deserve that. But I have a confession to make. I haven't yet completely aligned with attracting my beloved right now, because I've been giving most of my time lately to creating this RootsEFT program for you. The spectacular getaway weekend in the woods coming up in February 8th and 9th, and putting together the best of the best relationship advice that I've been collecting from dozens of experts in the field of relationships who have worked with thousands of couples and with all kinds of relationship issues and discovered the keys. And believe me, there was a lot out there, and it's all for anyone to sort through and distinguish what is solid. So this solid gold relationship guide will be available on my website. I'll give you the link for that in the next video, the last video. But if you come for a weekend getaway retreat near Whistler, this invaluable publication will be discounted and packaged with additional takeaways, and that would include a brand new guide to RootsEFT with unique content in it as to how, to continue with RootsEFT, to keep it going in your life and in your relationships. And trust me, this is the most exciting piece. There's nothing else like it. I wanted to develop this spectacular stuff, these guides, and a complete online follow-up program to support you after the seminar. Keep the momentum going in your love relationships. You know, before we start with the tapping, I want to say that I sure wish I had this earlier in my life. Like when I was 12, when we were babies, we got upset, we calmed down easily. Mom just put the breast or the bottle or the soother in the mouth and we were just fine. But as adults, our out-of-control emotions that flood us when we have an argument that gets heated, they're much different than a baby's, or dinosaurs for that matter. However, we aren't so easy to placate. We can try the deep breaths. It's a powerful tool, but you may need something a little more valuable or a little more powerful, like EFT as an emotional first aid. And with your partner's blessing, you can step away for a short break from the argument, do the EFT tapping, and you go back in the ring a more calm and compassionate communicator. So we begin. Think of an incident, something that happened recently that got you upset, or an imagined situation in the future if you can't think of one that was recent. And give a rating of intensity to your emotion. So it could be fear, anger, whatever emotion you have. And 0 is it doesn't bother you at all. You're completely calm. And 10 would be the most angry or the most sad that you could be. Got it? Got your number? And that's important so that you can rate it afterwards and compare. So now imagine that you have stepped away from your partner, and this is what you would do. And you follow along with me. You can tap along and use the words I'm using, although for your own situation, if you were by yourself, you'd be using maybe different words. Interestingly enough, I've asked you to put your own situation in your mind, and if you're using my situation, tapping with me, at the end you may go back to yours and try to rate your intensity, and you will find that your emotional intensity has gone down. Kind of like magic. So the setup statement begins with the karate chop points, and I guess you will have seen these points from the videos that I referred to you to the last time. But again, the setup statement is on the pinky side of your hand, between the fingers and the wrist. And either hand works. You repeat the setup statement, and the purpose of this again is so that you're not beating yourself up for having whatever anger or sadness or emotion that you have that maybe you're not proud of. And so it kind of gets you in the right frame for doing the rest of the tapping points. So when you get into you've finished your setup, you do that about 3 times. Then you'll get into the phrases of your choice, and I'll show you the example and you'll tap along. The phrases of your choice, and you tap a few times on each point. I say 7 or so. Sometimes you lose track, you get stuck on one. Sometimes you go over it very, very quickly. It's not that precise. Neither are the locations. If you're in the general vicinity, waking up the area, you'll be okay. It's not like putting a needle in there with acupuncture. The pattern is that you keep moving down with the series of 8 points. So you start at the eyebrow point, moving around your eye, down under your nose, chin, chest, and the lowest point being under the arm. And I like to finish at the top of the head just to signal that it's finished. So are you ready? You may not be dealing with the same emotion as I am. I think at first I'd probably be tapping on anger and say, I'm so furious, I'm so mad, but I'm going to skip that part and I'm going to focus into another emotion that I know I usually have when I get in an argument with my loved one. So, setting up, even though I'm terrified of being out of control here, maybe yelling and insulting my partner, because that's what drove the other ones away. And even though I'm afraid, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. That's number 1. Even though I'm terrified of being rejected or abandoned again, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I'm terrified of losing it, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Some people get a little calmer just by even doing that setup. So here's the points, and you can follow along, tap along. Terrified of what I might do that I'll regret later. That's inside the eyebrows. Terrified that he won't understand. He won't be able to take it. He'll get hurt by my emotional outbursts. And then he'll attack. That'll hurt more. Or run away. It's going to hurt me. Not this again. How can I get out of this? I'm so scared. All this fear, taking my breath away and making my heart pound. All this fear, what am I going to do with all this fear? It's making me tense up. It's making me not feel the love and flow in the relationship. I'm so afraid. Then you take a deep breath in and let it go. That's a round of EFT. You check in. Okay, maybe I was at a 10 before with my fear. I'm feeling a little more ease in my body. Maybe I'm at about a 3. When you're down to that low in intensity, that might be the time to introduce some more healthier choices, to entertain the idea anyways. Not before that, because you really have to go through those weeds, we call them, of emotions that aren't serving you anymore. They might have served a purpose, just like, dandelions, you can make your dandelion tea, but you might not need quite that much, and that's why we want to go right into it and clear it before so that we make we make space for the more positive choices. Make sense? Okay, so I'm back at it. I'm setting up again. The second time you set up, you say, even though I'm still a bit scared, I'm choosing to be gentle and kind with myself. That's another version of love and accept yourself. And actually, I'm introducing some healthier choices right at the beginning in the setup. Even though I'm still a bit scared, a little bit worried, I guess I'm safe at this moment. Even though I'm still worried about how it's going to go, I wonder if I can take a moment here to completely soothe myself. So I'll be ready. Okay, tapping points. I'm safe. I think my partner loves me and he wants me to be calm and happy. I can tell my logical brain's starting to work again. I'm not so flooded with emotion anymore. I wonder if in my heart I will feel safer if I tune back into caring for my partner. I'll begin by thanking him for letting me have this calming break that I so needed. I'm feeling calmer now. I might even be ready. I wonder if I'm ready to go back to my beloved. If I can be that happier and more peaceful me. Accepting what is, what happened, and ready to go back in with a fresh start. In a more loving way. Choosing peace, choosing love. And take a deep breath and blow it out. Great! I feel fantastic now. What about you? I hope you got some benefits there. It's called borrowing the benefits. Technique done in any group setting. So before I forget, I wanted to remind you that on my site, there is a link to the Gary Craig, founder of EFT, official site. And there you can get a DVD series of him doing EFT, getting to the deep roots of all kinds of issues, similar to what psychotherapy or hypnosis would do. And you can benefit from that, learn from that. Speaking of counseling, I have lots of years and lots of dollars of counseling behind me. But what I find is that I spend this much time and money with the counseling and get this much real transformation, solutions, and progress. And with EFT, it's the opposite. I actually spend this much time and money and get this much transformation. That was my experience. And I'm not putting down matter-of-factly counseling. There's certainly, it's great, at least for the first steps of identifying what your issues are. And in fact, many traditional therapists are integrating EFT in their practice to enhance it. The deeper roots EFT is really gold in this regard. Something like hypnosis, it can access your subconscious. It has a way of offering, the subconscious has a way of offering resistance to changing. And here's the key. A skilled practitioner will be more in tune with that resistance and will ask the right questions to delve in while keeping you comfortable, and will be able to guide you and invite you to participate in the transformation and to learn from it. So with EFT, again, there's the simpler way to use it with the calming yourself down. That's the demonstration I gave you. That's what we call emotional first aid. You can use that easily anywhere, anytime, without the help of a professional. But the deeper roots EFT, if I use the garden analogy, that would be just like pulling out the weeds by the tops and missing the roots. The garden looks better, or in human terms, you feel better, but it's a temporary fix. The weeds will eventually come back. You might get tired of having to resort to those self-soothing breaks so often whenever those waves of emotion hijack your brain. So to go further with the EFT, you can do some private or group sessions with an EFT practitioner like myself, and there are many available in your area online. You can do some on your own, but if it's a tough one, well, you know, you can, if you have a sliver, you can take it out by yourself, but operating on yourself to take out a bullet would be a lot more difficult. The pain gets in the way, you can't see what you're doing. In case of EFT, your subconscious gets in the way. So a helper will guide you through that expertly, make you comfortable in the process. You may even look forward to having the next argument with your partner. So in the next video, you will get a preview of what will be included in the Roots EFT for Relationships weekend getaway and retreat in the woods. And I'll be giving you loads of free samples of the creme de la creme communication tools that I've spent time gathering for you, and some of the specific tools for keeping up with your EFT. So see you soon.